Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello. Welcome to episode 114 of 15 Minutes of Genius. We are on our way to 200. It's awesome. On our way. Hit 100 and steamrolling right through to 200. Awesome stuff. I think before we know it, Mark, we'll get to 1,000. Maybe by 2025, we'll figure it out. Unless we tape like 100 episodes, per week, then we can get there much quicker. But I can't do that. I'm running Genius Juice. All right, so big plug, by the way, to Mark Nicholas, Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He is the guy. Do you have a camera on you? No. All right, well, he is there. You can trust me on that. Someone's going to be running all this stuff. So he is the guy that is our producer. He runs this entire show. If you ever want to do your own podcast, if you would like to get photography, video, he has his own studio here in Manhattan Beach, California. You can't see it. I'm not in my living room with a back wall. I'm actually in a studio, I swear. So make sure to contact him, Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. All right, so our guest is Douglas Raggio, and I love his picture on LinkedIn. It's a spoof of the Theranos thing. You got to check it out on his LinkedIn page. A little bit about him. He's a reformed VC and outspoken critic of short-term capital in the food and beverage industry. He strives for value-creative alignment between founders, investors, and other shareholders. He tends to explore topics and conversations that run counter to the commonly accepted dogma of finance and operations. Few, if any, food and beverage companies should aim for a zero-sum exit scenario. I agree with that. He's also the founder of Pass the Honey, which is snacking honey, really revolutionary. We'll hear more about that. Without further ado, Douglas, how's it going, man?
Going good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. I can see that you have a lot of pipes behind you, a lot of good ventilation happening in that office, I can imagine.
It's a submarine.
Submarine. It's U572. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it. A lot of steel, a lot of metal. I like the industrial look behind. We got the more of the kind of, what is it called? Rustic look behind us. You have the more industrial look. It's a nice balance.
Ironic that an untouched product in an industrial setting.
Exactly. Well, let's speaking of that, let's get into it, man. I just want to dive right into the story, right? What people can really identify with about this snacking honey brand, Pass the Honey. You told me a little bit offline about it. Sounds really fascinating about what it is and how it's breaking barriers and different. So tell us more. I'll leave it up to you. Go.
So most folks don't know that liquid honey is the third most fraudulent food item on the world. 70% of all liquid honey has been adulterated, which means blended with processed syrups and sugars. It's cut like drugs. So in an effort to find the closest thing to pure honey, it led us back to the comb, the source of the actual honey, and it doesn't get much closer to nature than exactly where a bee put it. They pollinated flowers, they put it in a comb, we simply cut it and package it. We package it conveniently portioned, individually portioned, which makes it accessible to a broader range of individuals. So it's led us to a lot of different weird corners of the world, battling food fraud, money laundering, racketeering charges with all the traditional players, setting of regenerative standards and practices for our own supply chain, working with UC Davis and the Regenerative Organic Certified Organization to really codify those standards. We use crazy off-the-charts testing, nuclear magnetic resonance testing. It's the highest level of food testing available currently. The intent here is to create a fully independent regenerative source of liquid honey in the world, plowing all proceeds back into pollinator research and habitat restoration in the U.S. We have 1.1 million acres committed currently, working towards 7 million. So it's got a lot under the hood.
When is when? I'm losing my mind. Where is this this farm and all the acres? Where's that located?
So when I started the company, we could not find clean honeycomb in the United States because of widespread pesticide use. And there's a bioaccumulation that goes in the wax that I wasn't obviously going to pawn off on the consumer. So we kicked off a global supply chain study to understand regions we could, work with third generation beekeepers, regions that don't have monocrop, industrial agricultural practices, groups that had the infrastructure to export volume. That led us to Turkey. So we currently source the majority of our honeycomb from Turkey. We are working domestically with about 500,000 acres in Oregon and the Pac West. And then we just signed as of this week. And then we have a couple more agreements next week coming for another 600,000 acres spread between Tennessee, upstate New York, and Pennsylvania. So we're trying to hit different climate zones, regions to understand the effects of managed bees, managed hives on native species, where they collaborate, where they compete, what those two do together for a ecological diversity, and then ecological diversity from a carbon sequestration perspective. It's a 3-year study with very large academic institutions, research institutions, to really understand what's going on with bees.
Yeah, it sounds like definitely highly complicated in the studies, and it's not like you're bottling water here or some like basic product. This is something that requires a lot of research, looking at the regenerative agriculture, different areas in the world. It sounds like genius juice, like sourcing from like overseas, right? It's not easy. So it's not easy to do what we're doing.
Simple, but it's not.
Exactly.
It is shocking. I mean, go on.
Yeah, I always say like it's not. It's simple in theory, but it's not easy. That's like
right.
Like what I've learned about supply chain, especially overseas. Let's get into, because I want to make sure we roll through all these different topics and we don't miss anything for this interview. Tell us about the product, and also I know that you're looking at also expanding your distribution. I think you talked about offline, whether you want to share it here. Just signed a deal with a major distributor that can open you up to many more stores. But a lot of people that watch this show and listen to this, on podcasts, just want to know, like, what is your go-to-market strategy? What is the product about? Where does this go in the stores? And where do you see this actually going long-term? Snacking honey? What is the play here? How can this be scaled into a much bigger brand? So tell us more about your go-to-market strategy and where you see this product in the stores.
Sure. So we signed our distribution agreement last month with Melissa's World Variety Produce.
Congratulations.
I've had to unlearn a lot of my, thank you. I've had to unlearn a lot of my CPG ways dealing with an agricultural good. It's just a different type of business. So we are being placed in produce. To have a non-perishable item, honey has infinite shelf life that has a decent, velocity. We're moving 7 to 9 units a day with no marketing support.
7 to 9 units a day? Wow.
Yeah,
really?
No marketing support.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a dump bin, so it's its own footprint with education on it. The other placement, it's cross-merchandised over in Delhi because of charcuterie boards. That tends to be, most Americans know honeycomb through charcuterie. Mm-hmm. Sadly, they don't know that honey comes from honeycomb. We're asked far too often than we should be, how do you get the honey in it? I'm like, what's going on here?
It's like asking,
how do you make this?
How'd you get that? It's like, how'd you get the coconut water in the coconut? It's like.
Yeah, exactly. It's the exact same. It's like, who am I talking to? But it comes up way more often than it should. People think honey comes from teddy bear, and it doesn't. And so we've done a little vilifying of that plastic teddy bear to educate the consumer that they're being cheated. So as far as placement in the store, our go-to-market is footprint. It is getting in retail through produce and deli, getting in front of the customer. I mean, we are a novel. It's a cute little product. It's single serve, grab and go, if you will. But then taste is off the charts. I don't think many Americans have had pure honey. I mean, 70% of liquid honey being fraudulent, there's a real case that most people haven't tasted pure honey that's from pollen and flowers. And so we have a whole honeycomb tasting program that we did with the sommelier that goes through mouthfeel, color wheel, flavor wheel, parts of the tongue where you can taste different things. And it's pretty cool. It's got terroir just like wine, which is, again, an area I never thought I'd be working in, is honeycomb tasting programs. But
it lands us in a lot of, when we embark on our journeys as an entrepreneur and having just a obsession and love for a certain product, it really takes you to areas from that passion that you thought you'd never be in. But going back to this product, a couple questions on it. So it's literally just like, it's honeycomb. I know it comes in usually big pieces. From my understanding, it's broken up into more snacking size. You can just pop one in your mouth. Like, what is the packaging like? I don't know if we have any images of this, Mark, but like this, what does the packaging look like? What does it say on there? What is the experience to the consumer? And I'm going to load on another, because you're a freaking smart guy. I can do like 4 questions and you'll remember all of them and answer all of them. What is the usage occasion? Is it just anytime, anywhere?
Oh, you lost me.
There's the lights.
This is what happens when you work in an office.
There you go.
We haven't been in the offices lately.
And we're not going to edit this out. This is real world shit going on here on the show.
I'm going to go do jumping jacks in the corner.
I think it's probably like, it's part of the exercise program in that working space. It's like,
exactly.
You always have to be moving and doing jumping jacks to keep the lights on. Anyway, so go ahead. So to reiterate, yeah. Did you remember them? So packaging.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All that, usage occasion. What does it look like? Experience.
We are packaged in a preformed cup. It's a tray, so it looks like it's a clear little cup, and it's recycled, upcycled, post-consumer plastic. So it's rPET, and it's universally recycled. So that was a big thing we worked on, was getting in something that we're still a liquid, which makes it difficult to go into compostables. And we have infinite shelf life, which also makes it not right to put it in packaging that's deteriorating when the product isn't. But so we're in recycled PET, just a peel lid, kind of like you would peel off a dip of like a
hummus
sauce or something.
Hummus or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, hummus, exactly. Use occasions are super interesting. It is a single ingredient commodity. So when you're talking about that, it's like saying, what's the uses and benefits of a banana? It has shocked me. We have type 1 diabetics that are using it frequently because it's managing lows. It does not spike the blood sugar as aggressively or crash. It has a low glycemic index. Pure honey with the honeycomb has a lower glycemic index than other honey. So that was an audience I did not imagine. We have preppers because the infinite shelf life, they put it in these doomsday bunkers. They buy a bunch of it, but they never buy it again. We have a whole endurance athlete because it's glucose. So it has that muscle glycogen depletion so you don't hit the wall. There's the brain glucose connection as well. So we have these like biohacker audiences, a ton of charcuterie, enviable snacking. So like moms putting it in kids' lunches. But most consumers just snack it, which just eat it right from the cup. Afternoon pick me up, clean energy.
Is the honeycomb just like a bar? Is there any liquid outside of the honeycomb, or is it all just literally like almost like a bar, not messy? Like, what does it look like when you open it?
So we cut it from a larger frame. And so there are cells that get cut and those cells spill honey. So there is liquid honey in the bottom, but the individual internal cells are all just as a bee made them.
Got it.
So there's wax, right? People ask, is it edible? It's 100% edible. Some people like the wax, some people don't. I'm sure you're familiar. Some people like the pulp, some people don't.
Exactly.
There's a unique mouthfeel. Like it's honey you chew. That isn't a normal experience for honey.
Do you swallow the whole thing, like when you eat it?
You can swallow it. You can spit it out. People, if you think of the wax as pulp, some people love it, some people hate it. The people that love it spit it or swallow it. It's kind of like, and even eating it, it gets in your teeth the first couple times, but like a sunflower seed, you get used to it like that. Like your body knows, your mouth knows. So yeah, it's a funky. My sister-in-law just thought it was the dumbest idea in the world. And then she told me that she hated the wax. And then she told me it was too expensive. And now she's buying like 6 cases a week. I'm like, okay, well, it's just a matter of time. We are selling healthy, clean sugar. So you will come around eventually.
The honey takeover is going to happen. And I would say tasting is believing, right? You can talk about it all day. Sounds a little bit weird. It's unorthodox. It's different. It's unique, whatever you want to call it. But when you have the benefits of it being, low glycemic, a lot of benefits. There's the fiber portion. It's real honey. It tastes amazing. It just takes people to actually try it, right? It's trial. Yeah. So that
is our go-to-market.
Yep.
To bring this full circle.
Yeah, that's the other question.
One, getting retail placement. But in order to drive retail placement and traffic, I don't believe in the whole product demo couponing BS. I don't think it's cost effective. We're sponsoring the National Spelling Bee. And I've offered every student that enrolls in the Spelling Bee to buy them a honeycomb. And so we're sending a coupon home with every student that enrolls to redeem their product at a local retailer. And right now we're looking for retailers in California to be the point of redemption. That's 60,000 students. A direct relationship into the home, which the whole grander purpose of the spelling bee is teaching kids words like regenerative, adulterated, sequestration, carbon sequestration. And if we can teach an entire generation of students better words around climate and food, I believe they'll make better choices because they can understand the concepts. Mm-hmm. So the punny side is we're a bee-focused company sponsoring the bee. But like, take that off, and it's, I'm a wordy. I carry a dictionary in my car. And for us to have to dumb down the level of work we're doing is very irritating. So we just decided, let's just go to 5th grade and just teach better words. And so we're doing a lot of education with teachers and some media partners to send home booklets that educate students on what regenerative practices are, how that parlays to indigenous practices, giving a Native American education as well, the benefits of pure honey versus adulterated honey, what food fraud is and how it affects our supply chain, mm-hmm. And the roles that pollinators play in our food supply. So like, that is a pretty unique go-to-market. It's unique to us. It's unique to my own personal passions. And it's also a super unique way to speak directly to the customer in a very engaged audience. Mm-hmm. So that's my 1-2 punch is get Melissa's, line up a retailer, drive traffic to the spelling bee, while also altruistically educating a generation of students on better food choices and climate choices.
Love it, man. So well said. So well said and articulated on what the product is all about, what the brand is all about, and how you're really enforcing this mission and instilling it in a younger audience, where they're learning these words. It's important that they're educated on this because they're the next generation that's going to be taking care of, our planet, right? And we want them to be eco-conscious about what is going on. So as far as distribution...
And if I can get every kid to tell their mother and father that to stop buying cheap fake honey,
it'd be huge.
It's a win.
Yeah. I mean, this is a perfect product for like a family or for a child. Like, this is a tasty, healthy, clean, like affordable. I imagine it's affordable enough for someone to buy off a shelf. And it's much better for a kid than like a freaking candy bar. And it still tastes great. So it's and that's another subject is how poisonous candy bars are. Like, Halloween just passed, like Hershey's and all this shit. Like, it's just so terrible. So this is, I think, a nice disruption. I know that's a totally cliched word. A disruption. This could be like, honestly, like a candy bar to me. Like a nice, delicious, low glycemic candy bar that tastes great. So where is this being distributed currently? And where can you find it? I'm guessing you can buy it online. And what stores are you in? And what's your website?
Online, Amazon, and then we're working with Melissa's to get our first handful of retailers.
So you started e-commerce. This is an e-commerce-based business when you started.
Was not intended to be, but COVID pushed all the category reviews.
Right.
And so we're not a grocery item. We don't need to sit next to the teddy bear. And we don't move next to the teddy bear.
It would kind of like lower the value of what you're offering by being next to that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But we had to go through all those category reviews. They got pushed during, COVID, just trying to keep toilet paper on the shelves. So eventually we got in front of produce. We got through DSD and produce with Melissa's. We've talked to Boar's Head on a number of different occasions. We're going distribution DSD and produce and deli. As far as retailers go right now, we're talking to a few. If you give me a week or two, I could tell you exactly who. But.
Awesome, man. What we can do in a week or two, let me know, and we'll edit it back into this episode because it's not airing for about a month. So
just throw a logo. Perfect.
Yeah, we'll just have like an audio overdubbing. You can just like send in your audio, and we'll find a place. Maybe when the lights turned out, that could be when we insert that audio.
I love it.
Creative stuff here at the 15 Minutes of Genius podcast. All right, so let's get into our next segment because we're out of time, and this is called Rapid Fire Questions.
Rapid Fire Questions.
All right. Were you aware that we have this segment on our show?
No.
Yeah, that's what makes it
Bring it on.
More fun, baby. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Just answer as quickly as you can, 1 minute or less. Here we go. For music, which decade is the best? The 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Ooh, probably 90s rap.
90s rap. Like what rap? What artist specifically?
Oh, Biggie, Tupac, the
Yeah.
originals.
I love Juicy, one of my favorite like R&B rap songs of all time.
I was playing in my car earlier.
Nice, man. Nice. It's bumping it, right? All right. So what do you do for exercise?
Oh, I go to the gym.
Cool, man. Anything in particular? Bike, lifting weights, or at all?
I have this sadist of a trainer that just crushes me every day. He did today. So
Nice,
functional workout stuff, medicine balls, Versa climbers, box jumps, ropes.
The whole
Miserable
thing.
shit.
Miserable shit. No pain, no gain, right? All right. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
Man. Probably Prefontaine.
Yeah, The Runner. All right. Chocolate. Yeah, it's chocolate or vanilla for flavors.
Chocolate.
Favorite country to travel to, if you travel, which I'm sure you do.
I do. Mexico's frequent because I'm in San Diego, so it's every month.
Got it. Is that for like suppliers or just like seeing friends or?
I sponsor a couple orphanages down there. And
very
just deliver
cool.
Product. During COVID, nobody was going over the border, so like the kids were on the property 3 times as much, and they were ripping through soaps and other things, and so the supplies. So a buddy of mine just run down there with trucks, and then we load them up at a Cali Max and drop them off. So
That's great, man. Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's amazing. Yeah. Awesome, man.
of course.
So I love to see you ask these questions. You get a background and kind of a color of what you do, right? Like what you're all about, your personality. So, all right, next one. Favorites, totally unrelated to orphanages and going down to Mexico. Favorite Star Wars character?
I've never seen a Star Wars.
You've never seen it? Okay.
No, like parts. I mean, there's like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Yoda. We'll go with Yoda.
Yoda, there you go.
That's in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes, you are right. Yoda is in Star Wars.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry about that. I'm not a big movie buff.
That's one question we can skip. All right. What is your spirit animal?
Ooh, a giraffe.
Giraffe. Okay. Do you like to drive an SUV, a coupe, or a truck?
I have a motorcycle, a classic Triumph.
I love it, man. For food, I can see you kind of have the motorcycle gear going on. So the jacket, you know.
This is like a Forest Rangers jacket. It's like really nice.
So for food, salty or sweet?
Oh man. I mean, if I'm eating my feelings, it's sweets for sure.
Favorite day of the
day, savory.
Mm-hmm. Yep, got it. Favorite day of the week and why?
I mean, every day, you're a founder. Every day is the same. Like every days are great. They kind of all run into each other. I wouldn't say there's a favorite one.
I love
Maybe
that.
Monday because you just see people in the office again.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it all kind of blurs together, right? All right, yeah. Uber or Lyft?
Lyft.
You're the first person in the history of all these of all the times we've done this that has said Lyft. Everyone said Uber.
Oh, really? Uber's horrible business. I mean,
yeah.
Lyft's not much better. But
it's like the Adam Sandler song, you know, my Uber driver smells bad. Uber driver smell. Anyway. All right. Make sure to look that up on YouTube. Anyone watching, it's hilarious.
I will definitely do that.
You pass the cord back. You know, he has all these funny things. All right. So LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant?
Jordan.
Terminator 1 or you're not a movie buff, but Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? You've never seen them. Jesus, you're killing me.
No.
You haven't. I'll be back. Nothing. Hasta la vista, baby.
I know the line. I would not have been able to tell you that it was from Terminator, though. I would have known it was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Got it. Well, I'll shortcut it for you. Watch Terminator 2. That's the better one, in my opinion.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Noted. I won't watch it, but hey, we're good.
Yeah. Thanks for your honesty. All right. Last question. Favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say passing the honey, and you cannot say genius juice.
Like food item, like it could be tacos.
It could be anything you want, man. It could be ready to eat, ready to drink.
Fish tacos, pescado.
Got it. And I said passing the honey. It's past the honey. So I want to correct that for the record. All right. And then website. Okay, number one, I got to say, great job. That is rapid fire questions. We got the applause going. 3. There we go. All right. Very cool. So, yeah, man. So that is 15 minutes of genius.
Again.
There the lights go again.
Here we go. We're back.
We've got to make our interviews shorter to avoid that. All right. So thanks, man. So website, where can people find this and buy it? PastTheHoney.com?
PastTheHoney.com.
Easy enough. All right. Well, Douglas, thanks for joining us. Episode 114, 15 Minutes of Genius. Have a wonderful night, man. And I can't wait to try this. I'm going to order it right away, right after the show. So take good care, my friend.
Good to see you again. Good to catch up. It's been
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah, good to catch up as well. All right, so that is episode 114 of 15 Minutes of Genius. Douglas Raggio. Make sure to go to his website, PastTheHoney.com. I got to say, this is probably one of the coolest products and founders like we've ever had on the show. I mean, I love the story, the regenerative agriculture, the philanthropic side to it, and the product itself is so freaking different. So make sure to order it. Make sure to go out, buy it, go to Amazon, go to the website. Big plug for Mark Nicholas, Mark Animan, HattonBeatStudios.net for all your editing desires. Anything you want to put on the bottom there, Mark? Nothing. Okay. We're stripping down this show. It's going to be very simple. So, yeah, make sure to reach out to him. So thank you again for joining us. And again, all of our episodes are on Apple Podcast and also on Spotify. We are caught up. We have 114 episodes on there right now. So that's it. And one last thing. Stay honey and genius, my friends. Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Okay, if he's still on. There you go. Right on, man. So, yeah, thank you for being on the show. This will post in about a month and a half.